Get on to Endgame. The book by Omid Scobie has hit the bookshelves. I'm in it. Why don't I just tell you what he says about me? It talks about the fact that I wrote this piece about, you know, the dog bowl incident where William grabs Harry and they have a fight, and I think he's got him by the lapels, and then he pushes him to the ground, and then quite amusingly he sort of says, don't tell Meghan, don't tell Meghan what's happened. You know, I basically sort of wrote a piece saying, actually, I felt that that demonstrated William's desperate love for his little brother, and this idea that he felt he was losing him to Meghan, and he was sort of so irate about it all that he obviously resorted to violence, which wasn't a good thing. Anyway, Scobie, bless his heart, he's described me as the Telegraph's royal editor. I've never been the Telegraph's royal editor. I'm the associate editor. Facts matter. And he says, this was me apparently bizarrely sounding like the excuses of domestic abusers everywhere. Domestic abusers? Has Omid Scobie understood the notion of sibling rivalry? I've got two older brothers. They were at each other's throats the whole time. I think I was in several headlocks back in the 80s and 90s. It's not a domestic abuse case, is it? Anyway, there's that. I'm going to bring Dickie Arbiter into the conversation now, former press secretary to Queen Elizabeth II. Dickie, you're in the book as well. Are you trashed, or what's said about you?
I can't remember. I skipped over it so quickly.
Forget that. I tell you what, there's another thing in the book about the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, formerly known as the Earl and Countess of Wessex. And it says that an interview took place where they were asked about the Oprah interview, and they said, Oprah who? And he said this was an example of their bigotry. Can I just say, I did that interview with the Earl and Countess of Wessex, as they were then known. That's Sophie and Edward, to the uninitiated. And what they were saying was, I was trying to obviously get a newsline out of them. What do you think of Oprah? And they kind of went, Oprah who? As in, you know, we can't really mention her name because it's all very sensitive. So again, that's taken out of context. Interestingly, you know, the only person at the royal wedding that didn't recognise Oprah, do you know who that was, Dickie?
Probably the King.
Not the King. It was actually the Archbishop of Canterbury. Apparently, he had a 20-minute conversation with Oprah and then left
and hadn't got a clue
the
who
wedding
she was.
and said to his staff at Lambeth Palace afterwards, I had this conversation with this extraordinary woman who seems to be big in America on telly. And they were like, was it Oprah? He was like, oh, that's who it was.